Persuasion is a learnable skill, the ability to communicate. Same thing, we develop this particular skill set. So what is persuasion?
Persuasion is nothing more than the art of getting someone to say yes to whatever you're asking for or offering.
Persuasion secret number one, mirroring. Mirroring equals mimicking.
So when it comes to mirroring, now we're talking about you are mirroring. So as a body language, if you've seen face to face, if you're meeting with a client, meeting with a prospect, that you want to mirror their facial expressions and body language. Think of, let me do it the wrong way first. A lot of people sometimes they do it the wrong way. So example, if I'm trying to persuade Ed, let's say pretend he's a prospect. Right now, look at the body language that he has, just looking at that, right? So his arms are like this, arms are like, I'm mirroring, right? So imagine if he's like this and yet I'm like this, that's a very different body language, right? Or I'm like this, that's a very different body language, right? So if I'm talking with him, right, like that. Now, what people do it wrong is so do something else, Ed.
That's just weird.
That's creepy, man.
Okay, that's doing mirroring wrong.
That's like you know when you were a little kid,
Yeah, you're trying to make fun of people?
Yeah, trying to make fun of somebody. You're trying to like annoy your sibling.
Don't laugh. I'm serious. People do this. Oh, mirroring. I get it. And then they just do it like that's not how you do it. Okay. It needs to look very, very natural. So imagine we kind of speed it up, but do it slowly. Do it slowly. So imagine I'm just talking with Ed, same thing. If you do it, change the gesture. So I'm just still talking. I'm talking. This could be like 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes of the conversation, and then I'll be like, yeah. And then from here, I talk from here, right? Talking, right? And then say you do something else. Yeah, still talking. Could be 3, 4, 5 minutes of the conversation. Then slowly, yeah, right? 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then eventually I'm like, I might do that. And naturally, when you're mirroring someone, what happens?
It's interesting. It feels like you kind of both of you become in sync almost. Like you're on the same wavelength. That's actually what we'll go deeper into this in a little bit. But your brain subconsciously says like we're on the same wavelength. Like we kind of get each other.
Oh yeah.
You're like me and I'm like you, right? In order to persuade, there has to be trust being built up. Right? That trust is very, very critical when it comes to persuasion. That's why it's not about pushing people, manipulation. Because when people see that, oh, you're trying to trick me, guess what? Trust is lost, you will not be able to persuade someone. So you have to lead with trust. When you lead with trust, you naturally become a very, very powerful, very, very powerful communicator and persuader as well. Make sense?
We like people like us.
How many like people like you? How many people like people that are like you? How many of you don't like people that are not like you? Imagine you meet someone in a party that you feel like, that person just leave it with. Example, let's say pretend I have no tattoo, and suddenly maybe you meet someone with a lot of tattoos, like, oh, I
got tattoos all over my face.
I don't know if I with ear piercing, I don't know if I resonate with that person. On the other hand, let's say I have a lot of tattoo and I meet someone with a lot of tattoo.
Hey, you got tattoos?
That's cool,
That's
right?
cool. Where'd you get that one?
Makes sense, right? We like people who are like us. And then another way to say this is we like people who think like us, talk like us, and move like us. Write it down. Absolutely. We like people who talk like us, think like us, and move like us. So mirroring, that's part of it.
You can mirror in terms of their gestures, vocal pitch, tone, body posture, but verbal communication is only about 7% of all communication. Majority of communication is all subconscious, right? This is why it's so powerful, right?
And imagine when you're communicating with someone in terms of tonality. So imagine I'm very soft-spoken, okay? I'm gonna be like very soft-spoken. Say, hey Ed, my name is Dan, and I'm here to attend this conference. Yes.
Hey Dan, nice to meet you.
Hi. And then you like chick hard, like whoa, my head's like broken.
Grabs Dan,
and then keep going.
So what brought you here to this event?
And then it'd be a little bit more abrasive in my face.
So what brought you here to this event?
You see, like I'm like whoa. Right? We don't like people who are not like us. And now I feel like very, very intrusive. I feel very uncomfortable. Right? You see what I'm talking about? Now versus if he mirrors my body language, my own tonality. So my friend told me about this event, and I'm here to meet some good people.
Oh, okay. Like, what are you looking to get from this event?
Yeah, I mean, I've been learning from this speaker for a long time, and I've been watching his videos, and I know he's coming to town, so I want to just come here and learn from him in person.
And so what are you really looking to learn from him?
Boom, you see the difference? That's mirroring.
And I'm also doing the hands as well. You
Yeah,
notice?
I saw
I
that.
also
That
went
was
like
good.
this.
That was good.
See that?
but
How
the
many
thing
saw
is-
that? Now, some people, when they talk to you, how many do this? When you talk to people, you like to look at people like that. But not everybody's comfortable with that, because a lot of people they talk about to persuade, you gotta look people in the eyes. For some actually, you actually look more away, and then you look a little bit, and then you look more away. You look like introverts, you don't always look people in the eye, like, right? So you need to mirror that, because when people are looking like this, looking like this, looking like this, looking away, and you're like, then they're like, what the hell is going on, right? Then they get very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Again, that's how you break rapport.
I feel like you just stared into my soul.
Yes, yes. You're flipping through maybe on Facebook, and you're just checking on the feeds and stuff like that, right? And suddenly you see a little video talking about like some cool gadget, some technology, some widget thing, or right, about something. Oh, that's pretty cool. You never thought of like buying anything. I'm like, that's pretty cool. You click on a link and you find out a little bit more, and before you know it, you're on Amazon buying something, right? You're buying something from the site, or you're supporting the Kickstarter campaign. How many have done that before?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah, you don't even know what is going on, right? It's not a very conscious thing. It's you're just there looking at on Facebook. You didn't go on Facebook and think, hey, you know what? Today I'm going to buy some cool gadget. You weren't even thinking about that. You were just browsing and okay, wow, that's interesting. This whole process happens at a subconscious level.
Yes.
You have to realize this. So very often when we persuade someone, the other party usually, almost always, they don't know they're being persuaded. It's a very subconscious level. It's very key.
That's actually more powerful a lot of times when they don't even know that you're persuading them. That's how you know you're a master closer. If you want to get deeper, you can also get into environmental mirroring, belief mirroring, identity mirroring. Now these are the deeper layers. So what do I mean by deeper layers, right? Belief mirroring. This is so powerful. If, for example, let's go with identity mirroring. So Ed, a couple of months ago when Peter first met you, you were
I was vegan.
He was a vegan, right? And Peter back then, another copywriter of ours, was also a vegan. Guess what? These two guys had never met before, but because Peter was like, oh, you're a vegan, Ed? Hey, I'm a vegan too. Boom. Right there, rapport was built instantaneously.
Yes.
Rapport was built, trust was built. That's when persuasion could happen, right?
Environmental, so when you're trying to influence other people, when you can create that bond over a similar thing that you enjoy, whether it's, oh hey, you like this model, I like this model, or
What's in an environment, what you can use, right? Okay.
Like, oh hey, you love, like when you met your mentor, your third mentor, Dwayne Clark, oh you love honey green tea, I love honey green tea, right? Exact same thing. Believe mirroring, once again, like what Steven said, let's say you're out and then, hey, you notice, like, let's use a Christian example. Hey, I noticed you're wearing a cross. Wow, I'm a Christian too. That's another example of
the vegan. Same thing.
Yeah, vegan.
But identity is so powerful.
Like keto and that's also belief mirroring.
Exactly. Having that connection and really being able to find the similarities between yourself and other people, that's really the secret. Because like in the caveman days, when it was, everyone for themselves, but then they became a tribe, they had all these similarities, also another thing, similar goals, similar things they're moving towards. Like, I think there was like a study done where a team of kids were like, they really didn't like each other, but when they were put on the same basketball team, they became best friends because they all had the same goal. So if you can find ways to create mirroring and similar experiences to other people and similar beliefs and values and really showcase those and express those, you can become way more persuasive and make way more friends.
Let's say if you're HTC, you're high-tech closer, I'm high-tech closer. Oh, you're from season 5, I'm from season 5, you're from season 6, I'm season 6. Right there, that's an instant bond.
That's right.
Well, they see you wearing an HTC t-shirt, example, or you see someone, hey, you're DoD doer, I'm a DoD doer too. Like, yeah, man, we take action. So that's that right there. Our trust our bonding that already makes us seem very, very different. Because it's a trust from everybody else, right? Spirituality, mirroring, you've already talked about it, you share the same. It doesn't have to be spirituality, you have something that you like or some common topic, where you're from, right, what you like. So just think about what some things you have in common. In other words, just what do you have in common? Remember, people are like people who think like them, who talk like them, who operate like them, right?